All right, friends. So, here's my review for you know what? I have been clipping my reviews and posting them on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, obviously. And you know what I've learned? I start every review by saying, so I need to stop that. I need to stop that. I can't have every one of my reviews be like, so. So I need to stop that. Um, oh, and half of them start with Without further ado, here is my review for Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Yeah, it is ready, set, so instead of go. That is that is so true. Sorry, coffee is so good. Coffee is so good. All right, without further ado, here is my review for Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. As we all know, I do start my reviews with a quote from the book. This time I chose, I'd say it's a long story, but it's really not. And I feel like that was so fitting for Onyx Storm as a whole, as well as that part of the book. So I did give it 5 out of 5 stars, Sarka. Contrary to the really aggressive back and forth positive and negatives on the internet, I just really loved Onyx Storm. Onyx Storm is the book we've been waiting for, the bridge that finally ties Fourth Wing and Iron Flame together into a seamless narrative. Yarros doesn't just expand the world, she deepens it, building on every layer of intrigue and emotion that came before. The world building is as rich as ever, but this time the map gets larger and the stakes grow higher. We're introduced to 2 new lands and lore that weave seamlessly into the story, providing both clarity and tantalizing questions for the journey ahead. The political intrigue continues in full force, twisting and turning with the kind of masterful tension that makes you second guess everything you thought you knew. The characters you've come to love keep us entertained with their signature spunk, and the character development here is a standout. Relationships are tested, loyalties are questioned, and the new dimensions are added to our favorite and not so favorite characters. And yes, those scenes, both heartwarming and heart-wrenching, left me physically reacting once again. The pacing strikes a perfect balance. Where Iron Flame felt uneven at times, Onyx Storm hits its strides, guiding readers through moments of calm before dropping us into breathtaking, high-stakes chaos. And that cliffhanger, delicious. I'm already counting down the days until we have the next Empyrean series book. Onyx Storm is a reminder of why the series holds such a grip on me. Yarros has delivered a story that not only redeems the second book's shortcomings, but also promises even more for the next books. If the first 2 books built the storm, this one lets it rage, and it's impossible not to be swept away. I did also choose to end with a quote this time. In a life without magic, the best medicine is time. And I felt like that quote was very interesting because I'm going to continue to convince myself that the best medicine for that cliffhanger is time, and that by the time we get the 4th book in the Empyrean series, I will be ready for it. But I'm just clawing at the bit to know what happens next. I have theories upon theories upon theories on what I think is going to happen next. Sarka, I'm sure you do as well. Princesa and Umo, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going to get deep into it. Everything from the compass and maybe the box to who turned at the end of the book to why was the marriage needed to... Okay, I think I've talked to a few of my friends about Onyx Storm. Okay, I've talked to a few of my friends about it. And I think I am the only person who is concerned about Brennan at the end. Hear me out. Violet doesn't remember anything. She comes to, there's Imogen, there's Brennan. Brennan is holding the scroll and says, hey, this is sealed. Can I open it? Maya goes, sure, open it. So Brennan opens it and says, I want to quote this so that we have, because I'm very concerned, okay? I'm very concerned about this. It's an official blessing of your legal binding marriage, Brennan whispers, stunned, then quickly rolls the parchment by the head priestess of Dune's temple. We end the book with Brennan having seen that, rolled the parchment back up, and we end the book with the parchment in Brennan's hands. I don't know why. I don't trust Brennan. I'm concerned as to why Brennan needs to have that parchment in his hands. And is this the only proof of their legally binding marriage? And according to Eric, this is going to be the way she saves Tyrandor. And if this is the only proof of that marriage, and this marriage is going to be what saves her being Tyrandor, I need Violet to rip that piece of parchment out of Brennan's hand. I really hope I'm just way fucking off base, but I want this on record now that I'm not feeling confident about Brennan holding that parchment. I just want that out there. I just want it out there in the world. Quote me, don't. It's out there. I'm sorry. But I don't feel good about that. I also don't feel good about Xaden's letter at the end of the book, because thank you, Umo and Sarka. Thank you for validating my crazy feelings. I'm actually going to get the book pulled up real quick because Xaden's letter. Oh, I opened up a Chrome browser. I meant to open up my Kindle. Xaden's note at the end. I have thoughts about it as well. And Sarka, maybe we talked about this. Maybe you picked up on it. Please forgive me if this is Xaden's letter made you mad. Why? These are not, I'm going to say they're Catan earrings. I'm going to say they are, Umo, because I love Catan. And I always just thought they were like little hives, like little honey hives. But I'm going with Catan earrings. I'm going with Catan. Thank you. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Well, so Sarka, because that's it. I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Where did the letter go? Where did the letter go? Oh, I have it highlighted here. It just says, don't look for me. It's yours now. So a couple things here. First of all, Xaden has always signed his letters X, has he not? Why is this letter not signed X? Okay. Second of all, I think we are supposed to assume that it's yours now is reference to Tyrandor, but Xaden has referred to Tyrandor as she, her, the entire series. The entire series, Xaden has referred to Tyrandor as she, her. It doesn't make sense that at this crucial moment where they get married so that Violet can save Tyrandor, that he would all of a sudden refer to Tyrandor as it. It does not make sense. So what? What is hers now? What is hers now? Please tell me. Somebody has figured this out already. I need to know. I need to know. Also, Imogen, I have problems with what, so, okay, people who can read minds, there we go, are killed because their signet is so dangerous, but please tell me, I mean, I don't want Imogen to die. Hear me say that. Tell me why Imogen is allowed to live. I feel like her signet is way more dangerous. How often has she been doing this? Like, how often does Imogen just go around erasing memories? How much of the books that we have read so far can we trust? Okay? How many of the things that we've learned, the memories, all of the things, how many can we trust? What is missing? What is missing? But side note, on the flip side of that, I'm sorry, I have so many theories. I don't think Imogen erased Violet's memory. I think Violet is faking. I think she remembers everything. And I think she just needs everyone to think she doesn't. I don't know if that's crazy, but that's my theory. Full stop. And Sarka, I need to know, who do you think turned at the end? Who do you think turned at the end? Because I feel like I know, but I might be way off base, okay? I might be so off base that it's not even funny. While Sarka is typing, and hopefully I don't alter her opinion and what Sarka is typing, I think it's Bodhi. Because the entire book, Xaden's talking about Bodhi is the one who is going to lead Tyrandor, Xaden's only family. There's no one else. Bodhi needs to be ready and willing, and Bodhi kind of pushes back on that, so on and so forth. And you think it's Garrick. Okay. The reason I think it's Bodhi, though, is Eric sees that the only way they save Tyrandor is by saving Dune's temple. And by saving Dune's temple, I think that is how, because Xaden says they owe me a favor, right? Because they saved the temple and they marry Xaden and Violet. And Bodhi should have been able to save Tyrandor as the leader because he was next of kin, unless he turned and couldn't take over Tyrandor, and the only way would be for Violet to marry Xaden because she would have been next of kin then to take over Tyrandor and save Tyrandor. That is why I think it is Bodhi. So yes, Bodhi wasn't there at the end. The only people there at the end were Brennan, Imogen, and Violet. So I think she said that to trick us. And Bodhi, like, doesn't feel like he's enough either. It could be Garrick. Garrett doesn't make sense to me. Maybe there would be a reason for that. Related to Imogen, because Imogen is obviously in love with Garrick. Maybe that ties in somehow. But I don't see the power of it being Garrick. You know what I mean? I don't see the power behind it being Garrick. Personally. Also, by the way, speaking of Sarka, seeing that Garrick felt like his signet wasn't enough, that he couldn't actually help. Speaking of that, I want to talk about Dane for a second. First of all, I want to admit that I have been Team Dane since book 1, even through all the shit he did. Okay, I love Xaden. Don't get me wrong, I love Xaden, but I also love Dane. And I feel like, I don't know what I feel like. I love Dane. But during this whole, I've loved Dane. It's not a secret. I don't know why I told you that like I thought it was a secret. It's not a secret. During the whole battle, first of all, we assume that Dane's only signet is like touching people to read their memories, right? If so, this motherfucker is running through this castle without a powerful signet, just throwing knives at people and kicking ass and saving his friends. If that is the case, Dane is the most badass person in this book, okay? Or he has another signet we don't know about. Or both, because it's Dane. So, I also have concerns about, like, yeah, Dane. Sorry, I'm just a Dane girly. So take that with a grain of salt. So, like, let's go back to, I need to find it. I think V has 3 signets. What do you think the third is? What do you think the third is? Also, by the way, I'm still pissed at Andarna. I'm still pissed. I'm still mad. I'm still mad. I don't know that I will ever forget her. Where did it go? Okay, here. Sloane. Sloane wraps her fingers around Dane's wrist. Her eyes flare and she swallows. Someone like you shouldn't have this much power. Excuse me? What does that mean? What does that mean? What if Dane fucking turned at the end of the book? What if it's Dane? I am so concerned now. I'm not sure what the third is, but I think the second signet isn't dreamwalking, but something bigger. 2 dragons, I believe Nolan is her grandfather. Okay. I haven't considered this. I have not considered. Dane better not, okay? He's my goody goody 2-shoe love boy. He's not allowed to. He's not allowed to, okay? Also, Xaden tensed when Tiffany had used the term brother. Xaden tenses. She said brother. I also think Violet's hair is pure silver now. Yeah, because they looked at her weird, didn't they? They were like a little shocked. They were a little shocked at the end when they saw her, weren't they? Isn't that what had happened? So I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Also, Eric is a servant of Dune. Do you remember when he said a gift from one servant of Dune to another? What is happening there? So I'm just there's a lot. There's a lot. Sorry, I'm like looking at my quotes here. Trying to remember everything that I've forgotten. I forgot to highlight this, so I'm highlighting something really quick. Sorry, there's so much. See, that's why I'm so surprised by the negative. Um, by the negativity about this book. I feel like there was so much. Weird. You said you had, Sarka, you said you had to go, and then like a timer just started going off in my room. That's so weird. Okay, Sarka, any last thoughts? Any last comments before you have to sneak out of here? Because this was a good conversation. I think I got most of my theories out of the way. And real quick, while you get your last thoughts out, I'm gonna go turn off this alarm real quick because what the heck. All right, sorry about that. I think that's a majority of my theories on the book. I don't really have anything else too crazy to share that I think is going to happen or go on. Like I said, I am very cognizant that this book did have a lot of bad reviews online, had a lot of negativity surrounding it, that type of stuff. Personally, I thought it was very entertaining. I think there is going to be so much weaved into this book, so many secret surprises, suspense. I think hopefully in book 4 some of that unravels and people can see that in book 3 in Onyx Storm. I definitely think that Onyx Storm was stronger than Iron Flame for me, in my opinion. I still did like Iron Flame, of course, but Onyx Storm really amped it up where Iron Flame did not. So for me, I stand behind 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed Onyx Storm. And I'm really interested to see if any of my theories come to fruition in book number 4.